What's going on, everybody? Cobalt Productions here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm happy to announce that the Charlotte 49ers have won a game of football. Last night was Tim Albin's 60th birthday, and the Charlotte 49ers beat Monmouth 42-35. It was a shootout at Jerry Richardson Stadium. Without further ado, we are going to do our Week 3 breakdown. It was the last week before the Charlotte 49ers began their conference play, and they defeated Monmouth out of New York 42-35. They were ranked 18 in the FCS coaches poll. Overall, it was a gritty win. It shouldn't have been that close, but needless to say, I'm happy that Tim Albin, on his 60th birthday, coached the 49ers to their first win of the season and his first win with the program. So without further ado, we're going to get right into our Charlotte team stats. The Charlotte 49ers offense had 563 total yards, 382 of those being passing yards, and 181 being rushing yards. We had 29 first downs. We were 8 for 12 on third downs, and we had a good conversion rate of 83%. We were 5 for 6 in the red zone. Now, in terms of turnovers, the 49ers were a little sloppy, but that was primarily in the first half. We had 2 fumbles. Another one was that speed option with Harrell and Gainey, which, firstly, we just need to stop saying that ever because it's led to turnovers. And then Harrell had another interception, which led to a lot of people wanting Grayson Loftus in the game. But regardless, Harrell ended up coming back, and the second half was one to behold. In the second half, the 49ers scored 35 of their 42 points. And as you can tell, Tim Albin must have said something at halftime because it led to a completely different spark from our team. So let's get into the stats from our 49er players. Connor Harrell had a whopping 30 passes and completed 26 of them. He had 382 pass yards, completed 3 passing touchdowns, only had 1 interception to go with that as well. He had 13 carries for 47 yards, but completed the game with 2 rushing touchdowns. So he finished with 5 total touchdowns throughout the whole game. A stunning display from Connor Harrell. EJ Mason had a complete breakout game, the transfer from Samford. He had 10 receptions for 228 yards and had 2 touchdowns. One of the best individual performances that I've ever seen from somebody in a Charlotte 49ers uniform. Props to you, EJ Mason. What a game. Rod Gainey Jr. had 15 carries for 74 yards and finished with a touchdown. The kid was rocking no gloves and was going absolutely crazy in the backfield for the 49ers. Flipping the field to our defense had 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, and the 2 standout players were obviously Reed Williford and Andrew Simpson, players that had massive hits down the stretch, ultimately sealed the game for the 49ers on the defensive side. Now, unfortunately, with our defense, we did give up over 400 yards to Monmouth, and that is something that's going to need to change. So let's segue straight into the takeaways from last night's game. It is obvious that big-time players make big-time plays. And we're going to talk about 2 transfers, Connor Harrell and EJ Mason. They combined last night for an incredible link-up. Obviously, Harrell had 382 yards, with EJ Mason having 228 yards receiving. Truly an incredible performance. I want to take a time just to appreciate those 2. What a combination. Javen Nicholas still had a great game. He had 5 receptions for 46 yards, but EJ Mason truly stepped up, especially after dropping a touchdown last week. It appears that our offense settled. Todd Fitch finally got the offense clicking. It did take, a half to have some trial and error. And coming out of the second half, obviously the team looked like something happened in the halftime locker room because they looked like a whole different team in that second half. Lastly, it appears that injuries truly are a killer for us. Our offensive line is already on its last legs, and our defensive line also is very banged up. Andrew Simpson, a redshirt freshman transfer from UNC, he showed up and he had a massive tackle for loss in the dying embers of the game, which ultimately sealed the game. Overall, this was finally a win and a wonderful performance from the 49ers. While I would have loved to have blown out Monmouth, given that they are an FCS team, is something that the 49ers can actually be happy about, and we finally have a win in the win column. Next week, the 49ers take on Rice. This is a home game on a Thursday night, and it begins the American Athletic Conference play. It'll be a short turnaround for the 49ers, but I have faith after a win that we can keep the momentum going and hopefully add 2 into that win column and beat Rice. I believe there will be a lot to be positive about this coming week if we can get some of our injured players back, and that'll lead the 49ers to a much better route going forward with the season. Well, this was a quick video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I will see you guys in the next one, and hopefully the 49ers can beat Rice on Thursday. Bye-bye.